Welcome to the Healthy Living Doesn't Have to Suck podcast. I'm your host, Melyssa with the Y. Join me for conversations about creating mindset and behavior changes that build a healthier, happier you. Let's drop the struggle and say hello to healthy living made easy, entertaining, and empowering. Hello and welcome to the Healthy Living Doesn't Have to Suck podcast. My name is Melyssa with a Y, and I am your host. And I'm so excited to be bringing you this message of healthy living doesn't have to suck over a new platform because I did write the book on it. So you can find the book on Amazon as ebook and paperback. But I also wanted to invade the podcast space because there's so much of an opportunity to have a reach to get the message to even more people that need to hear it. And not only that, but I'll be able to invite guests onto this show to share their messaging for healthy living doesn't have to suck. I know there's already so many people that I can think of that I would love to have a conversation with about their stories and their strategies for how to make healthy lifestyle habits sustainable. There's so much involved in trying to transform your life. So I wanted to share a little bit about what inspired me to write the book on healthy living doesn't have to suck. Because as a lifestyle medicine coach, I am board certified in lifestyle medicine. I am working on my board certification in health and well-being coaching. I have my master's in clinical psychology. I'm a former animal trainer, so I've got over a decade of experience with behavior modification. But when it comes to actually practicing these healthy lifestyle habits, it's usually a lot easier said than done. Even though I have all this knowledge and all this training, there are still instances where I find that I'm struggling to live a healthy lifestyle. So that's really why I wanted to share some of the things that have worked well for me, as well as some of the different strategies that I know have worked with clients that I've had the opportunity to work with in the past, and to really bring that information to hopefully help you think about lifestyle change in a new way, in a way where you don't have to give up and sacrifice everything that you enjoy in your life, right? That's one of the things that you'll find on this podcast is while we may have conversations about behavioral risk reduction, because there are lifestyle behaviors that are related to chronic disease of all shapes and sizes, there's never going to be a time where I say you shouldn't eat this, or you shouldn't drink that, or you need to completely eliminate this from your life. Now, there are things that we would do a lot better with if we eliminated from our life, right? But we're going to talk about the optimal health guidelines while also recognizing that making these changes can sometimes feel very overwhelming. So we're going to take the coach approach with ourselves. We're going to be compassionate. We're going to be open, and we're going to meet ourselves where we're at right here and now and figure out what changes we can make, what small changes we can make that are going to add up to that larger lifestyle transformation that we all desire for ourselves. And that's going to look a little bit differently for each of us. And that's why I will never share a one-size-fits-all approach on this podcast, because there is no such thing, right? We are all unique, individual human beings. So I really want to make this a safe place to have conversations about some of these difficult topics, to have people submit their questions and have like ask a coach segments. That's something that I didn't even think about until now, but like an ask me anything kind of episode would be so much fun. I would love to do that for y'all. And for those of you who are joining me on the other side of the screen here, oh, Buddy's about to come say hello. Hi, Buddy. If you're watching the video, you'll see that Buddy is here. He's my sweet little man. There he is. Oh, hey, bye-byes. Say hi to the change makers. You'll hear me talk about him a lot on the podcast. So back to business. You may have caught that I said to Buddy, say hi to the change makers. And that's because that's what I call my community of readers and now listeners. are change makers because we're all striving to make positive changes in our lives as well as the rest of the world, right? So we want to be able to share this message of positive living, not just for ourselves, not just for those that we love and care about, but to show up as that example for the rest of the world to show that it can be done. And it doesn't have to be done in the ways that make you miserable. Hopefully that's helpful in getting a little bit better understanding about why I wrote the book, why I created this podcast. And you can probably already tell we're going to have some fun with it. It's going to be sassy, but also scholarly, right? I'm going to share some of the science behind all of these topics, but in a way that is easy to understand. I am a little bit of a geek in the sense that I love looking up research articles and reading all the latest studies that are out there. And I mean, to an extent, right? That's not the only thing that I read, but I do enjoy looking and seeing what information is out there. Now, that might not be you, and that's okay. We're not going to have the dry science statistics on here. There will be occasions where I share some numbers because some of it is pretty eye-opening at times. And it's helpful to have that knowledge so that we can make changes. Now, share a little bit more about me. I went to grad school for clinical psychology, worked a little bit in the mental health world, and got some amazing experiences there. And luckily fell into lifestyle medicine. And you may be wondering what that even means. So to start, lifestyle medicine is the evidence-based approach to using therapeutic lifestyle interventions for health promotion purposes. So it focuses on 6 pillars of health: physical activity, nutrition, probably could have guessed those right off the bat, stress reduction, healthy sleep, positive social connections, and avoiding risky substances. And that includes tobacco, vaping, alcohol, prescription medications that aren't used how they're prescribed. So really looking at those 6 pillars of health to promote well-being by making changes. And this is where, again, that behavioral risk reduction comes in, right? Because the less of these behaviors that take away from our health we engage in, the more we're going to swap that out with behaviors that actually promote our health and well-being. So we're going to feel healthier and happier by changing some of the ways that we choose to live. Again, all of that is easier said than done, but I love lifestyle medicine because it really emphasizes that coach approach versus the expert approach. With the expert approach, that's basically where, I could tell you what to do all day long, right? And chances are you already know what we could be doing to promote our health and well-being. But the coach approach is really about looking at our strengths, looking at our patterns of behavior and thinking, and meeting ourselves where we're at and finding how we can make changes to work with ourselves, with our minds, with our bodies, instead of constantly trying to put out energy to fight against our minds and our bodies to make changes. All right. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense on what you can expect from listening in each week. Now, in the spirit of the coach approach, I want to take the framework from my book, which focuses on educate, empower, and engage. And with each episode, we're going to provide a little bit of educational information, but we're also going to ask you some questions to help empower you on your lifestyle change journey. And last but certainly not least, I'm going to challenge you to engage in something that we talked about from the conversation on the episode to make a positive change. So educate, empower, engage. I hope that's going to be something that you're looking forward to, because really the engage piece of it is an important part. The old phrase goes, knowledge is power. But I got to be honest, y'all, that's kind of bullshit, because you can learn this stuff all day, but if you don't do anything with that knowledge, it's just kind of sitting there and it's not useful to you. So actually, it should be applied knowledge is power. You have to apply what you're learning in order to actually make those changes. Engage is really where we focus on bridging that intention to change with that behavior change gap, right? So bridging it from intending to change to actually engaging in the behavior that is going to make those changes. Love it. Here for it. So excited. Awesome. So with that being said, I would love to end this little introductory episode where I educated you a little bit about lifestyle medicine, right? So what I would love to do is ask you a question to empower you on your behavior change journey. As you're looking at your life as it is right now, just pick one change that you would want to focus on, one specific change. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is that change to you? How important is it for you to make a positive change in that life area or looking at that behavior that you were just thinking of? Importance. Next, I want to ask you, how motivated are you to make a change in that area? So on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you right now to make changes in that area? Just one, just pick one. I know you want to get overly ambitious and try to focus on all the changes that you want to make in your life. No. For this episode, we're just focusing on one. And as you're thinking about that change that you want to make, how confident are you in making changes in that area? On that scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you? As we're wrapping up this first introductory episode to Healthy Living Doesn't Have to Suck, I would love to offer the opportunity for you to engage what we are talking about today by joining our Changemaker community on Facebook. It is a free community. And if you're not on social media, then what I would encourage you to do is send me an email. Just say hello, introduce yourself. I would love to know who's listening on the other side of the microphone here. So if you would like to, join the Changemaker community. There's lots of wonderful people in there, y'all. That information is going to be in the show notes, or you can search Changemaker community on Facebook and it should pop up. But if you're not on social media, then I would love for you to just send me an email, info@melissawithay.com. And again, the spelling with Melyssa with a Y is a little funky, right? So if you didn't see the podcast art, Melyssa, my first name is spelled Melyssa, so a Y instead of an I. And then with a Y is WHY, because my why is to make healthy living fun and entertaining and enjoyable for the people that I work with. So that's my why. So yes, info@melissawithay.com. I know it's not the most user-friendly, but it will be linked in the show notes as well. So if you'd like to just click it there and send me an email introducing yourself, maybe your name, where you're listening from, and what you're looking to work on. Yeah, how does that sound? I would love that. Let's go with that one for this first episode. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please follow me on social media at Melyssa with a Y or at Healthy Living Doesn't Have to Suck. You can find me in both of those pages of the social media world. And thank you so much for listening in today. And my traditional sign off you're going to get to know is until next time, change makers, take care, stay healthy, and be well. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Healthy Living Doesn't Have to Suck. I'm so grateful to have you here with us, joining our Changemaker movement. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd love it if you'd subscribe and rate and review this show wherever you're tuning in and listening. It helps more people discover the show and grows our community of changemakers. Please connect with us on social media and follow us on Instagram at Healthy Living Doesn't Have to Suck for some behind the scenes looks, bonus content, and updates on new episodes. And don't forget to grab your copy of the book on Amazon. Thanks again, Changemakers, and I can't wait for you to tune in next week.